Is Fairwinds the company that sells inference? No, this is, well, I mean, I don't know if they've pivoted, but the company I'm thinking of is a Kubernetes kind of like services company. But they also created a bunch of like open source for the Kubernetes ecosystem. Fairwinds is a fairly common name. There's a bank. There's the company I used to work for. I feel like there's some other thing too. Okay, we should be live on YouTube and Twitter. Let me just recap what our plan for the day is. We're getting there, right? We're still clanking away on the MCP server. That's going to be the main focus of today. But we discovered that our publish process for the Messijo SDK is not 100% working, right? Like when we bump the version, it didn't bump in NPM. I think that has to do with the tagging we're doing, but we're going to have to double check that. So I don't know. There's some stuff we got to do, and we're going to look into it.
What does it do? What's it for? Well, nothing.
So yeah, here we are. But yeah, Fairwinds is this company. .com. Right, so infrastructure management for cloud native and I guess AI workflows. But yeah, selling inference isn't necessarily their thing. If we look at some of their open source they've done, right, Goldilocks and Polaris are like the big ones. So Goldilocks is for like right sizing your services in a Kubernetes environment. Yeah, probably. And then I forget what was Polaris. Oh, it's a policy engine, right? So it's like OPA. And if you haven't done any Kubernetes, these words probably don't mean much to you. But by policy engine, it's basically a rules engine. I think actually it's more focused on like consider like policies for like how you provision like IAM and some of that stuff. So it's like permissions within your Kubernetes cluster, something like that. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But okay, so dude, this bug is super annoying. So yeah, I can't use Kepler for that. So here in this, and ooh, I guess tokens reset today. Nice. All right, so Oh, and hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, so hold on. I think it... No. So 3 days ago... Oh, yep. Yeah, we don't see any of that. Oh. Well, that would be a big part of that. Yikes. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff in there. We should fix all of this. Production API contract pre-flight. Where is that? And what's going on? Right, so that was just formatting. Sure. This flow... Build and deploy prod. We hit contract pre-flight. It checks for success there, and then it comes and does these steps. We see this kickoff. Right, so we do that step. All right, there's no diff. API contract.check version. Errors were found not already in existing Atom. And what's up, JLam? How you doing? And then, yeah, let me double check. Oh, and I need to get the Twitter chat refreshed. Okay, nice. Yeah, dude, like we've got like 150 RSVPs, which is crazy. I doubt it'll be that many people. You know, just because like free event and all. Like, I don't know. Have you seen like RSVP numbers and then how many people actually show up in SF? I'm hoping it's like Seattle. Because otherwise, we're going to be massively over venue size. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I was just curious. It's not a big deal. But yeah, should be fun. Still got to work on what I'm going to talk about, but I think it's all right. It's more of like just demos, you know, like just showing stuff off. I will need to just like practice the timing of it, I guess, but that's about it. Like nothing crazy. Like I can talk way more about Git bench stuff. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But okay, so in that script, where is that check version script? And yeah, how you doing, Brainless Mister, sir? What? Where did it create these? Calling it for the day, but playing around with Insomnia to see if you make the switch? Yeah, I think it depends. I don't know. Insomnia is just another lock-in, but I don't know. I really, really like the dependency flows, right? Like instead of having to write a bunch of scripting, you get just like this thing is tied to that thing. It's kind of nice. So yeah, those are all tests. Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean, JLab? Oh, I've never heard of Insomnia Cookie Shop. No idea. Damn. So this ratio is crazy, man. I made a post. It's only got like 7,000 views, but it's got like 99 likes, 20 retweets. The views seem super low for that. Okay, so here's a question, Brainless. I've got this like mixapi.contract.check version, but when I do a search for check version, I only see the reference to it in YAML files. Where do those typically get defined? In a mixed task in the library, right? Okay. Like I would have expected it to be in here somewhere, but I'm not seeing that. Like, wouldn't you expect searching for check version to show up somewhere? Wait, did I just miss it? Well, I mean, it's version. No, it's not. I don't think it's a specs thing. Now, this API contract thing is separate. This is like a deployment thing. And the Clanker did it. So I'm not sure where everything actually lives. But it's not open API specs. Like, where do you define the mix tasks? How about that? That'll be a good start. They usually go in config? I don't think so, right? Is it a file system lookup? Ah, it was a file name. Good catch. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then it's a run function. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, there we go. That was a good catch. What do you mean, Ash? I'm asking, what do you mean by AI clone worker? What the hell does that mean? Like, I'm very confused by that statement. So the error we're getting is errors were found at the given argument's first argument, not an already existing atom. Where would that be? And let me get more music on. It could be any of these atoms, right? Oh, maybe one of the keyword fetches. So I guess when running like a mixed task, is there a way to get better like runtime errors that like tell us where that error is coming from? Is that like a flag I can pass? Oh, right here, to existing atom. Oh, that's a good call. Yeah, Ash, this has nothing to do with that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Right, so what we were looking for then, and for some reason we're not seeing it, but we saw the word breaking, which would make me think that this is what this value is because it's change kind. So this change kind is becoming the word breaking, but we're doing it to an existing atom. I don't know why that needs to be an existing atom. I think we could just do to atom, right? Because this is a script, I don't think we need to worry about atom exhaustion, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, would you ever worry about that in a mixed task? What would be the point of that? Like, why would atom exhaustion ever be a concern for a mixed task? Maybe if you're, I don't know, doing some heavy data processing, but this isn't that. Okay, see, so there, that should be that fix. Okay. So I think that gets us past, like, the initial issue, right? Is there a way to ignore warnings in dependencies? Because it's creating a lot of noise. Yeah, so that's really annoying. I can't ignore the noise, like the absolute bullshit generated from this. And they're in dependencies that I'm not doing anything with, like Timex. I mean, I still want it to output proper errors and warnings for my code, you know? Oh, so you can like configure these warnings for specific applications. I get it. But you'd have to do it explicitly for all applications. Got it. I wish there was an easy way to copy the output of all this. Moshiko, I'm not loyal to any of these fucking tools. When I'm doing just a general lookup, why would I burn my ChatGPT tokens when Gemini gives them to me for free? Especially because this is something that I think like Google already has searched and indexed. Like Moshiko, they're not fucking sports teams. It's not like programming language. It's just like programming languages and frameworks. You don't need to have allegiance to any of these fucking tools. But especially, why would I burn my weekly tokens from ChatGPT because they apply to ChatGPT and my Codex usage. Why would I burn Codex tokens when I can do it elsewhere for free? For something especially this simple, where it's going to have to go do a search on the internet anyway. You know? Like, think. Right? The term switched. Like, dude, I was never stuck. What's up, Urban Hacker? How you doing? I think a better way of phrasing that, Moshiko, is you should be using everything. And figure out what things you like to use for certain things. And you'll figure that out. It doesn't matter what I do. Just looking for that chunk now. Where was that thing? Yeah, that would work if it was doing a compile. I don't think it's doing a compile, though. So API contract compare.sh. Yeah, all I'm seeing is this oasdiff.sh. Yeah, I don't see anywhere it's doing an explicit compile. I think the only option is to do it via config. Oh, got it. Okay, so that config is really just for the Tesla library. Shit. Hmm. Okay. So I think, yeah, I think you're right there, Brainless, but I don't know any place where I'm running compile explicitly, but if I just did a deps.compile before anything that is doing a compile under the hood, then we'd be good, right? So that like OAS diff might be part of it, right? Oh, never mind. Wasn't paying attention. All right, there we go. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I think this might be a good fix then. Yeah. So good call, Brainless. I just wasn't thinking about like when we would need to do that. I do think it is really silly that they don't allow you to do that in some other global way. Like that seems pretty short-sighted. And yeah, Moshika, I'm sorry, man. I just you know how I feel about the team-based mentality, right? It was a specific deliberated decision by the core team. That is silly. That is really silly. No, it's fine, man. I don't like the whole like switch thing, you know? Like I have zero loyalty to any of these tools beyond technical constraints. Yep, no worries. And I think other people just need to hear that too, so it's fine. Now I know we could be like clanking on multiple things at the same time here, right? But I'm like directly invested in this, and I don't want to juggle because I want to like focus on what it does here. But yeah, what's up, Swiss tourist? How you doing? There's no visualizer in Insomnia? You did like your scripts to see the data in Quicktable? Makes sense. And honestly, like, it's fine. I just really dislike Postman, and I really like the dependencies between like requests. Especially like the automatically fetching fresh data, like after X amount of time and stuff like that. Like, dude, yeah, it's really nice. You want a Git based backup of your collections? And does Insomnia do that at least? Like, have you validated that part? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good to know at least. And then once you've got it in like, a like an Insomnia config file, converting it to other stuff might be worth it. Like, might be easier. So at least it's like a decent baseline. Hmm. So yeah, like just doing the dev null thing hides a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so it's definitely not spidering far enough into other files, I think, and that's really, really screwing us. Okay, so if we go and look at the action again, that's not a bad idea. Where would we get access to that test file, though, right? Like, if we're running this in an action, how do we inspect the files that the action generates? I'm not aware of how to do that. Let me get more music on, though. Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. That's pretty good. Yeah, okay. Hey, what's up, beautiful? Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. So it's going to create that spec. Cool. That still doesn't solve our major problem because I think we get some. Right? Like after the dependencies, we get down to this step. Yeah, so then the OAS diff part. Um, oh, and we're doing this over here. So this is actually an API step. Just realized we were in the wrong directory. Yeah, I can't believe we did that. That was a totally different thing. Okay, so yeah, not in the SDKs directory. We're gonna have other stuff we gotta fix. That one might be fine though, but still, we get this OAS diff issue. And that one I think we can do with Kepler over here. All right, so then, yeah, once we've got all this noise fixed, we should be way better off. But yeah, what's everyone up to today? Any fun plans or anything like that? Let's see if I can pay rent a day early, a couple days early. It would actually just be Monday or Saturday when I get back anyway. It's probably not a big deal. Hmm. Okay, I'd say we've got enough on the context here just to do this one. All right, so then let me just double check over here. All right, so yeah, no meeting stuff today. Sweet, sweet. So then, yeah, we'll check that diff here in a minute. So then this one. Ooh, I'm curious. Yeah, while these are clanking, what's the weather going to be like in Portland? It's a hot work night expected over there. Ooh. Yeah, it was warm here last night. It was really annoying. All right, so Wednesday is going to be warm. Fuck, Friday is going to be even warmer. Thursday looks okay. Okay. Could be worse. So then, hold on. Let me check Redmond. It does warm up a little next week. Not ideal, but could be worse. So yeah, at least we're not going to be in the 90s. So yeah, making sure it does it in the controllers at a regression gate. Yep, I like it. All right, so then let's look at what they did. Yep, yep. Yeah, all that looks like just some boilerplate. Sweet. All right, that's our change there. All right, so get checkout staging. And this is ironic, isn't it? We're formatting the format only file, and the only change is changing the format. That's just fun. Oh, yeah, because you use Celsius, yeah. Well, I was actually just looking up the temperatures on Mercury right now. All right, so then here... Right, we'll apply that one change to fix the OAS diff shenanigans. And then that should be clean enough that we start getting our deploy stuff fixed again. Right, because we need all of this fixed and brought back into that MCP prep Redux file. Well, not file, but like work tree. That way we don't get a bunch of noise from like the concurrent work that we're doing, right? So yeah. Yeah, these are good fixes. I like what we're doing here. But what you working on, Swiss Tourist? And Element and anyone else? Anyone co-working alongside? What you up to? Shit, while this is going, I might as well start grinding up some of this here weed. Because I'm heading down to P-Town later tonight. And wait, not what? Not the newer ones? Was that meant for another chat? Like, are you like double lurking, or did I completely forget my own context? I do that sometimes, but I missed some follows. Hold on. So a jerkoff. I just now got that. That's an awesome name. That's a really awesome name. You guys didn't see how he spelled it? That's an awesome name. Right? I didn't see it coming at all until I said it. And then boom, phrasing. I didn't see it coming at all. Oh, jeez. Oh, whoo. Oh, I'm a child sometimes. Oh. Oh, that was good. Oh, I should have shouted it out in the moment. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was really good. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, man, that was awesome. Whew. Whew. All right, and then Lethargic Panda. Thank you for the follow. Your name's good, it's just not quite as good. Oh, Mercury is the keyword. Oh, element. I was talking about Mercury, the planet. Right? The temperature on Mercury's surface is about 100 degrees Celsius, isn't it? That's why it was so confusing. I wasn't talking about thermometers. Okay, it's actually hotter than that. Yeah, I didn't realize it got all the way up to like 1,000. I thought it was like closer to like, I mean, 350 is hotter than boiling temp as well. Yeah. Totally. I get it now. I should have called Mercury by its Greek name, Hermes. It's pronounced Hermes. Just kidding. I don't know if the Greeks even had Mercury named. Did they? Okay, so we pushed that up to staging. This thing's still going, eh? I think it'll validate it here in a sec. Yeah, I understand, Element. That was the joke I was making. Mercury is the Roman name for the Greek god Hermes. Just like Mars is the Roman name for the Greek god Ares. Neptune is the Roman name for the Greek god Poseidon, right? My point was, did the Greeks actually name the planets at all? Or was that something strictly the Romans did? And they did it based on their gods. What's up, Granny? How you doing? Oh, that's fine, Element. All right, so I'm not sure I especially like what they've done here, but I don't hate it either. I think it's fine. All right, so we stage all. It is a lot of files to fix, but I think it's necessary. Yep. All right, so then from here, what is the name of this? This is fix, update. Examples. To fix OAS diff warnings. Sure. And then what we want to do, we pop this open. Let's do this. We could just like force it. I don't think that's a problem. It is annoying. All right, so then git pull fix. Wait. Oh, we didn't push that up. All right, so we push that up. Let me get more music going. All right, so then Boom. All right, so now we should be able to get main to deploy and update our SDK. Whew. Okay, that was a lot of BS to do. All right. And yeah, you're doing good. Nice. So, what is our next step? Okay, pull this up for a sec. All right. So, number one, we should have a way cleaner output in our actions. This is a bunch of junk. This one we could cancel. All right, so build and test for production. So it seems like it still doesn't handle that. It does seem to me like no worn deprecated catch. I want to suppress that globally. Yep, sturdy. Is that really such a surprise? All right, like sturdy pose. You've been here since 2019. How is this still a surprise to you? Never got to see it? Bullshit, dude. Bullshit. Okay. I still feel like I doubt that. Like, I guarantee you've been here while other people say it too. Okay, so yeah, we could add this in a bunch of places. I'm fine sturdy pose, but I would just recommend starting with that instead of something so boring and cliche, you know? Am I the first person you've ever seen that has a bunch of tabs? No. Like, I expect it from people brand new. You know? Dude, you've been here since I basically started streaming. Though it is true that you don't chat that much. So, I get it. That's fine. And thank you for the apology. All right. So, yeah, we're still waiting on this. And yeah, I'm surprised that our like warning capture system isn't catching these. But we can go fix it. Yeah, it's just weird. So, oh, wait. So it's not even going to fix it. Not really. I know the icons are too small for you to see because of weird resolution issues. But when you see that little like circle with sections around a tab's icon, that means that Chrome has backgrounded that tab and cached it to disk. So it's not taking up any RAM. The only RAM it's taking up is the metadata, such as, right, the amount of RAM freed up, the name, the URL, and the icon. That's it. Right there. Inactive tab, 100 megabytes freed up. We have the technology. It's really not a thing to concern yourself with. And Max, is there a specific use of this SaaS? Social media, right? Like, if you're at a brand, you probably want to listen for people talking about your product but not tagging you. You probably want to be able to slide into a thread where people are complaining about a competitor. And you might want to chime in about things that your application solves that people are talking about keyword-wise. Those are just a few options, right? Your support staff could listen for various keywords. Doesn't Google do what? What do you mean, Frighten? Like listening for people talking about Google products? You're talking about SEO. Social media doesn't get SEO indexed. Not really sturdy posts, but it's still fun to work on. There you go. I mean, don't frighten. If you have an unlimited token budget, go for it. But also, how are you going to do that? A lot of these services have bot prevention things that they do, right? You scroll Twitter long enough, they just stop serving you requests. Or they stop serving you responses. They stopped serving me responses when I was going through my like the people I follow and like unfollowing if they haven't posted in ages. And I was doing that by hand. I mean, 646, there's definitely the theory, right? Like people chatting in a room about shoes, and then you see a shitload of like shoes ads. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I'm too many people have that anecdotal evidence for it to be coming out of thin air, you know? Well, don't frighten. There's certain services that you can do it with. But Twitter, I don't have Twitter as a source yet. Look at it this way. It's easier to listen to something as the messages come in than it is to comb the entire history. And I'm not using AI to do that, right? AI would be really token heavy. Instead, I'm using programmatic ways of filtering data as it comes in, matching on your keywords, and then I use AI to match on your intent, right? But that's AI that you pay for. Yeah, specific products now. It's not even crazy. Well, I mean, no, we're not doing Reddit either. Reddit's pretty heavy about restricting bot traffic, and they're not going to give you an API token for this because it competes directly with the service that they offer. So yeah, like the biggest platforms are the hardest. However, if my niche target customer is tech companies and startups, then I think satisfying Blue Sky, Hacker News, Lobsters, maybe Lemmy.world, whatever, still has value. And I'm massively cheaper than the bigger platforms that do the bigger platforms, right? So if anything, my service is supplemental to the bigger companies that do the bigger platforms, right? Like Mention or Brand24 or whatever. No. So Sturdy Post, it's only for Reddit. They're not doing it for other social media. But they do have a thing where you can listen to keywords being mentioned on Reddit. Because of that, they would never give you an API key to do the same thing for Reddit. However, most of Reddit is open, and there are RSS feeds for a lot of that stuff. So you could just poll the RSS feeds on a regular cadence, theoretically. But the amount of endpoints that you'd have to do that for would get you identified as a bot, so then you're right back at the same problem. Basically, it's a problem that can be solved because other companies do it. It's just not something that's worth solving until you're profitable. Max Delta. Like I just said, maybe you were typing that as I was saying it. You could just use RSS, right? Diff the RSS, capture the stuff that's new, check it for the keywords, right? But to do that at scale is a lot harder to hide that you're a bot. And it's a lot more expensive to run something like that. Yeah, that's fine. In general, for the price and scraping the platforms that you're probably not watching anyway, giving you these notifications should still have enough value that the subscription is worth it. And for you to vibe code this yourself is probably unfeasible. And again, back to this tweet that theoretically should be going viral. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that I've got 110 likes, 21 retweets, and there's only 7,800 views. That's crazy. So I think I'm getting buried because I interacted with Zayu's comment that was roasting DHH. Right? I think Elon's anti-woke detector has kicked off. But basically every single person that's seen it, like, not every single person. But dude, that's such a high ratio of people to like give a like or a retweet at only 7,800 views. That's really questionable. Right? Meanwhile, hold on, I'm curious about this. All right, we go back to my profile. We had the one that roasted GitHub a while back, right? This one. Okay. So let's think about that. Maybe that ratio makes sense. Right? 107,000 views, 700 likes. That actually makes sense. What did DHH do? He made a really, really terrible blog post and then went to Twitter to complain about ChatGPT not translating it for him. And of course, Grok did it fine because it was terribly racist. Yeah. It was on the nose racist against the Romani people and culture. Again, it's not the point, right? We're not upset at OpenAI. Or sorry, let me put it this way. We're not upset about his point about OpenAI being the arbiter of these things. We're upset that he's just such a shitty person. Right? Even a broken clock is right twice a day, though. So even though he's making a good point about OpenAI being this, like, censor and filter of things, yeah, they should not be that. He's still a fucking douchebag for the post that he wrote that got flagged. Right? See what I'm getting at? Right? Freedom of speech, but not freedom from judgment. Zayu had a good post. That's the only one I'll link to. And she went viral as fuck for it. Or they went. I'm not sure how they identify. This one. In case you missed it, DHH is still not a good guy. And wait, how many... Like, that went super fucking... maybe not super viral, but 42K is pretty solid. But at the same time, yeah, this fucking douchebag gets 450,000 views. And the best part is, there were a lot of fucking douchebags in the comments that were pretty easy bans. Or blocks, or whatever. Now, luckily, we don't see him anymore because I blocked him. It's fine, Sakurai. Like the reply guys in there that were fucking terrible, yeah, I blocked the fuck out of those guys. I don't need to block DHH because I have him muted. And he'll never interact with me anyway, so who cares? No, I don't need to block DHH because I have him muted, so I never see his shit anyway. But every once in a while, I would like to be able to, like, click unmute when people are talking about him, you know? And actually, I'm not sure if I do have him muted because I feel like it would have been muted in Zayu's retweet. So yeah, maybe I don't. I thought I did. I just never see him on my timeline, and I'm thankful for that. All right, so hold on. Build and test succeeded. Nice. Deploy tested production did not succeed, though, because contract pre-flight fails. And why does that? Ah, okay. So this actually makes sense. So now we would need to go in, right? And this is where we'd want to do like all workflows. Let me double check that. Codex. And 1 second, Sakurai. Let me get to that in a sec. So I got this error in my prod deploy GitHub action. And I want to make sure what my next step is. Do I use the, and then what was that named? Deploy production API override. I just want to verify that. Because we just vibe coded up this whole like SDK release process. So I'm not intimately familiar with like all the steps I need to take. All right, so yeah, we'll let that clank away for a bit. And then what was the question that you had? It's a waste of time for you. People caring about the post, caring about opinions only matters when something in this world will be changed and you will get affected by it. And then what's your question about Messijo? Oh. Maybe go click into the website and check it out. Okay. Okay, cool. So now, get LG. Nope. Get log. That is the commit we want to do. That is the version we want to do. And we updated yeah, I get it, Sturdy Pose. I don't know if that's really something we want to discuss that much further. I agree with you. Yeah, it's a terrible take, but also, like, we shouldn't give it any more time of day. Yes, DHH is a terrible fucking human being. That's not actually news. you know? I agree with you. They're probably lovely people, but it's not a conversation we want to continue. We can just leave it at that. DHH fucking sucks. There we go. And that's been the case forever. It does bum me out that there are people that platform it. Right? Like the podcasts he's been on. Now, those people lean right anyway, so is it really that much of a surprise there either? Not all of the podcasts, but a lot of them somehow. Because most people with a conscience wouldn't have him as guest. Right? They're clout chasing, right? They did it because he's famous and they want to be more famous. I get it. You know, I wouldn't mind being able to make all my money off content creation either. But I don't know. There's a limit. There's a fucking limit. And it's probably why I'll never make it that big, and that's okay. Because at least I can sleep at night with the decisions I made. Not to imply they can't, but if I had made similar decisions like that, I wouldn't be able to. All right, so yeah, for our discriminator. Oddly, an apropos word right there. Oddly, an apropos word. Damn, that's a lot of steps. Oh, that's a lot of steps to the flow. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Yeah, and those compiler warnings aren't terrible. I don't know if we necessarily need them. It is at least better than the previous ones, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to recognize that at some point Elixir 2.0 would make them break like breaking errors though, right? Right? When something is deprecated, that means eventually it will become an error, right? The goal is to get ahead of when it becomes an error. And Dalix, thank you for the follow. That was like a half hour ago. My bad. That's only if it's open source. I would assume most of these packages are open source, right? But that's the point, right? They have these warnings and they aren't fixing them either. All right, so this is doing like the API baseline stuff, right? Checking our versions, making sure that there's no other backwards breaking changes. I'm so curious why dependency is going again. Oh, dev dependencies and then production dependencies. Sure. Okay. What? Sakurai, how are you solving for other things that you consume having warnings? I think you're fundamentally misunderstanding where these warnings are coming from. These are warnings in dependencies. This is not the first time I mentioned that, dude. Like, it's Sakurai, this isn't the first time that it feels like you have a distinct listening problem. Might be a language barrier, but dude. But what's up, Tech Prime? How you doing? And what's up, Bato? How you doing? Well, it's more like Sakurai, you should wait, listen to what I say, and actually process it instead of just typing for the sake of typing. Like, actually process the words that I am saying, not the tangent that you're going off on in your head. Okay, that's a skill to work on, I guess. It's not a problem to stop tangent thinking, But the moment that you are ignoring what people are saying because you're lost in your own thoughts, that's not a fun conversation for anybody. It's okay. Have thoughts. Think them. But don't do so at the expense of listening to the words that someone just used to answer the question that you asked, or to respond to the statement that you made. You know, that's how conversations work. A tangent, if you're unfamiliar with the mathematical term, is a line that skirts something like the edge of a circle, right? To where it touches that circle just at one point and then continues on. That is a tangent, right? A thought in your head that is loosely related to what someone else is saying is a valid thought to have, but it shouldn't take the place of a proper conversation. If you're basically ignoring what someone is saying in response to your last way off topic comment, that's not a fair conversation. That's a one-sided conversation that you're having, and you're just shouting to the void. And that's just not fun for anyone. Maybe for you, not anyone else. Well, we're watching a GitHub action run, so the ramble is intentional. Yeah, understand before being understood. I like that. That's a good one, Bada. Yeah. Exactly, Sakurai. Thank you. Exactly. It's about being, like, actually present for the conversation, you know? Yes, exactly. Like, going off on a tangent. Tangential thinking is awesome. That's really good. It helps you think about parallels, and it helps you, like, expand your understanding of a thing. But if you're doing that at the expense of ignoring the conversation that you're having, then you're not having a conversation. I don't like that. That's a bad excuse, man. Nothing prevents you from putting in the effort to have a proper conversation, Sakurai. I don't like those excuses. It's a crutch. There are plenty of people on the spectrum that put in the effort to be good conversationalists. No, not quite. Closed-minded is you could still be listening to what someone's saying and you refuse to fucking understand their viewpoint. That's closed-minded. That's a different thing. Like, you could be listening to every word they're saying and not taking it into account. There you go, Sturdy Pose. That's a much better Kappa joke. All right, so theoretically that deploy kicked off, and it worked. Did it blend? It kicked off a pull request. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is exactly what we were hoping for. No worries, Sturdy Pose. Hope to see you again soon. I won't be streaming again till Saturday. All right, we'll let the compatibility checks go. I think they should be totally fine, though. I don't see what would change or go wrong with it, but just in case, you know, they're there for a reason. And yeah, why are we just sitting, waiting, watching this to go? Because this is actually pretty essential towards a bunch of, like, the other things that we're doing. And oh no! Oh, it's a quality check. Wah. 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 I think I might be okay just telling this thing it's wrong. What's next? We got to figure out why this is failing. Now, let me get more music going. I mean, we should look at the script. I think that's a good idea. So this is the step that it failed at. PNPM generate check. So then that scripts generate MJS dash dash check. Okay, so they create this like run secondary function. And we see that get used in two places. Okay, so no, that's calling a separate thing. So then we run a get diff whatever. Interesting. So it's not bad JSON. Like, because it's generating the the TypeScript SDK, what we were seeing was a diff in the generated TypeScript files or the d.ts files, right? Like the definitions. And I feel like it has to be at the diff level, right? So it's really just this having a diff. Why? Why would that be failing in that way? And thank you for the follow, Tech Prime. I think this is just a bad script. So I think untracked files would definitely be a problem. I don't think this diff is the right option. It was cooking pretty quick at navigating around. Yeah. Soul Medium's good. Yeah, I like it. It's a good daily driver. I quite liked GLM 5.2 as well, but we've got the codecs thing, and it does do better than GLM. When I run out of codecs, GLM 5.2 is a great fallback for sure. But I haven't been running out of codecs lately. I was running out a bunch when there was the 5-hour session limit and I was using 5.5 extra high. But you don't actually need that extra effort. And I don't think that extra effort actually helps that much. And then real quick, I don't tend to do anything with vocals. I try and avoid music with vocals. Like towards the end of stream or like when we're like drinking the whiskey, we'll switch over to YouTube and do a bunch of that. So I wouldn't mind checking it out. If you want to share it over to the Discord, we've got a music channel over there. I'm not a big fan of like evaluating music in front of people, like when they make a recommendation. So I don't do song requests necessarily, but I might play it eventually. It's like, because music is so subjective and it's like music really has to catch you at the right moment, you know? And because of that, pushing music on someone, and I know you're not pushing very hard, right? But just there's a difference between like a push and a pull, right? When someone decides that they're open to a new song, they're going to be way more receptive than, hey, listen to this kind of thing, right? Yeah. And it's even like more so that like, dude, I might actually really like the song, but just not in the moment. And when it's pushed on me in that moment, I might dislike it and then I'll never get back to it, right? When instead, if I can get to it when I'm like in an open mind for music, it's a better option. So it's like half a me thing and half like, I don't know, it feels bad when you recommend a song to someone and they're just not a fan, you know? When you recommend a movie and they're like, eh. So it's like half of like me thing and half of like, I don't know, I don't want someone to feel bad like that. Yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, there's reasons. Yep, I completely agree. But yeah, that's what the music Discord channel's for, so feel free. Okay, so hold on. All right, so now it's gonna do some Git stuff. Yep. All right. So yeah, it made some assumptions in the way it originally created this. So that's another flaw. So yeah, just some further context. Tech Prime and anyone else who's kind of new to the stream, who's not aware of what we're doing, we have our API repo, and our API repo creates an openapi.json file, right? That openapi.json file is generated from our API that is a private repo, but we want to create SDKs that people could use to work with our API, you know, within their systems, just building their own software, building it into their own tools, whatever, right? Like internal dashboards at some enterprise or something, right? So that's why we create SDKs at the bare minimum to create types that they can consume in their language that are accurate towards our OpenAPI specification. We are pushing that OpenAPI JSON via a pull request to the SDK repo, and the SDK repo will rebuild the SDK because it's generated from that specification. What's happening right now is it's seeing a diff that is intended, but for some reason it's seeing, like, it's comparing against version 0.1.0, and yes, we're on 0.2.0. It's going to have a difference. So this was the thing where, yes, we used a clanker to do the SDK stuff, because I think there are certain things that I like coding by hand, not this kind of rigmarole. So now we got to correct where the AI, I don't think necessarily hallucinated, but kind of only did half of the effort. Yeah, we need to declank it, right? We need to tighten some of those nuts and bolts. Sure, Sakurai. Yep. No matter what, nuts and bolts loosen over time anyway. Even Loctite fails over a long enough time period. Yep. Okay, so it'll create the proposal for this. And then we'll knock it up. And man, I am so bummed on Olama. The fact that yeah, hold on. Here we go. So their cloud has more than doubled in token volume every month, and even larger models like Kimi K3 are coming soon. Demand is growing faster than they can add capacity. Max subscribers run some of the heaviest workloads, so new Max subscriptions are paused while we add more capacity to protect the experience of existing subscribers. Consumes extra usage credits. That is super annoying to me. Like, just double the credits. Like, you're using a multiplier for this stuff anyway, man. It's fucking bullshit. So, yeah, right? Just as I'm touting the value of Olama, there they go fucking me again. Now, here's the question. How quickly do we think we would burn through the Kimi K3? Like, how many requests do you think we'd actually get out of it? Time to build my own lab. Yeah, and it would only take 1.4 terabytes of RAM to run Kimi K3 at a reasonable rate. That's all. No big deal. Yeah, I could probably decrease my current spend. I'm going to cancel Gemini. I'm going to cancel Minimax M3. I think Olama still has value. I think the value I get out of Olama is greater than double OpenCode Go. Get a server at a university. It's just that simple, right? So hold on. I'm gonna resubscribe because I think this will be funny. Let me just do this real quick. All right. So, OpenCode Go. Is there an auth command? How do I wire that back up again? I think we would just do it. All right, so hold on. There are a bunch of free ones on OpenCode Zen, so we could do that eventually, but Kimi K3. Nope, not Zen. Oh, Zen has a bunch of models. All right, here we go. Yep, I'm okay with it. So then, I don't know, tell me a joke. Okay, why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. Let's see how much of our budget that used. Doesn't tell us how much we got left. Okay. So of our rolling usage, that was only 1%. Okay, that's not so bad. And it looks like, oh shit, they fixed it. Oh man, I was so bummed on them for like only doing the monthly usage thing. They fixed it. I didn't even look at when they fixed that. They used to only do the rolling and monthly. I still don't like the fact that it caps at monthly. I like the ones that just do rolling and weekly. You know, like Minimax or Olama. But okay, so that clanked along just fine. All right, let me get more music going. Well, let's do something crunchy. And Claude is the worst? Yeah, Claude is the worst. From a cost, like, from basically every perspective. I'm so glad that people have stopped glazing Opus so hard, too. I mean, I don't like to do, like, best. Best is tough. The Codex models, like Soul, is delivering a lot of value, for sure. I think GLM 5.2 delivers a lot of value, right? I just don't think Claude is worth the cost, and regardless of the model, I don't like Anthropic. I don't like the way they're anti-consumer. Why can't I use my subscription in any provider, right? In any harness? That's really, like, gross and restrictive. That is anti-consumerist. And technically, not just Claude the models, right? But Claude code is a piece of shit. It fucking sucks, dude. Like, there's this thing, right? It's not ME. It starts with an M? No, not the max day one. Claude. Here we go. Trackers Claude code. So this is the Opus performance tracker. Shit. Opus 5. Damn it. Shit. I wish we could go back. Because what this used to show was a shitload of up and down terrible performance. But now, because of the new model, right, here we go, historical performance. Claude Code historical performance here has been trending up at least. But holy shit, dude, like, this fluctuates so much because the harness itself is garbage. Right? All of these dips, I don't think they're like fine-tuning the model that way. That's just fucking Boris vibe coding the fuck out of Claude Code and being bad at it. I don't care how many sub-agencies spinning up every night if he's got performance like this. You know? No. So the new model added points are these inflection points, right? Those like dashes. So those dashed vertical lines are like new model introductions. So even within this window from 4.8 to 5, that's dog shit, dude. That's fucking dog shit. At least with Codex, the fluctuation isn't as deep, right? And at least with Codex, it's somewhat consistent. There is a massive jump, though, right? From 5.5 to 5.6? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, standard deviation, sure. But, like, dude, not Claude code. This is Boris, just AI hallucination. This is a Boris AI hallucination. And am I ruining my chance to ever work at Anthropic? Probably. But also, if they only hire yes men, well, that's part of the problem, isn't it? I mean, Max, I'm not gonna lie, I would love a 500K paycheck. And Max, that's the whole thing that we're building right now with Messijo. Duh. Duh. That's the whole thing we're doing here, man. All right, so this. And we don't have open spec here. All right, so I got to copy and paste some stuff. Give me 1 second. I can show this because it's nothing proprietary. We'll just go to our home directory. And then, yeah. So what we got here in Codex, skills, boom. Oh, there you go, misanthropic. Yeah, except that you'd be sued because of trademark, right? Like that's the reason Claudebot had to rebrand to OpenClaw. Well, okay, there were no lies detected. Hold on. No, that's a good point. Touche. Oh, and yeah, Theo's bummed on the whole Codeberg thing. Yep. But hold on. For a lot of people, their time is worthless, though. So. Touche. I love that movie. I want to give it a rewatch. If they got it on my flight tomorrow, I'm watching it for sure. Actually, no. Flights are where like the only place where I actually get to watch any like new movies. That was Dodgeball. Come on, your best player thinks he's a pirate. Well, hey, Dwight or White, we don't know who our best player is. We haven't even played yet. It could be any one of us. Touche. See, I think Ben Stiller is best when he's not the main character. Like, he's such a good character actor, right? Like, he's amazing at like, bad guys, you know? Like, there's almost a theory, and I don't know if it's been confirmed at all, that Ben Stiller's, like, character in Dodgeball is actually a continuation from the character he played in Heavyweights. First movie I remember him in, probably Heavyweights. But I'm trying to remember, like, Cable Guy, he's a really good character actor in, where, like, he's not even, like, he doesn't even have a speaking line. He just plays, like, the analog to the Menendez brothers. Hell Cop? I don't think I've seen Hell Cop. Hell Cop. Oh, is it like a newer show based on the comic? It was an 80s flick? Are you thinking of something else? Like, I remember Highway to Hell. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But if we went and looked at, like, Ben Stiller's, like, IMDb, I bet we could find something, right? I don't know if it, like, Highway to Hell is pretty, like, low budget. Oh, you're probably maybe thinking, like, Heat Vision and Jack? I could see that, but that's 1999. Oh, wait, hold on. That's him producing or something, yeah? Yeah, hold on. Let's get rid of producer and director and go only actor. Yeah, here we go. Let's go way back. Hot Pursuit? That sounds about right. That's really, like, the only thing I'm seeing that fits. Was it really Highway to Hell? Hold on, let's double check. He was. Oh, he was. All right, so he was in Highway to Hell. Good catch. Yeah, I thought Highway to Hell was, like, a lot more, like, low budget. Like, I didn't expect any, like, either of the Stillers to be in it. He was a cook. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Shit. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't remember Highway to Hell that well. I know I watched it when I was younger because we always had HBO, you know? Oh, but yeah, like, I don't know. First time I, like, really, really remember Ben Stiller is, it's gotta be Happy Gilmore. Like, I remember Heavyweights for sure, but I don't think I, like, put together that that was Ben Stiller until later. But Happy Gilmore, like, totally, like, recognized him as, you know, as himself. So that was probably the first one. Dude, impossible, Sakurai. Do you not remember that 480p was the best we could do digitally? The closest thing to a streaming service was HBO. And yes, HBO existed. That was it. But on demand? No fucking way. There wasn't any infrastructure for on demand besides pay-per-view. Like, the technology just wasn't there. So, I mean, sure, right? But if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a wheelbarrow. Yeah, I never did the Netflix, like, send DVD thing, but I did use, God, what was it? Gamefly. Gamefly was basically the Netflix of the time, and they would send you games, and you could have X amount of games out at a time. Gamefly was the shit. No, you were probably alive when Gamefly was a thing. Right? Gamefly was like, I don't know, 2009 or 10? Right? Like Netflix like DVD delivery wasn't until like 2004 or 5. Right? Or am I remembering that wrong? Oh, it was later than that, huh? 2007. Okay. So yeah, I was even like early with my guess. So I guess theoretically it was already doing some kind of like thing. Oh, interesting. So never mind. Yeah. No, it was even earlier than that. Oh, when it transitioned to streaming was the 2007. Okay. So dude, yeah, way older than I thought. That's crazy. Yeah, way older than I thought. No, I never did any of that Max Delta. So I was a snowboard bum from 2002 to 2010. And because of that, I never, like, especially during the summers, I was living out of my van. Like, you know, I just didn't even have a place to, like, hook up a PC. And I was mostly a PC gamer during that time, like, when I was at home, so I didn't even have Xbox. My first Xbox was probably like 2008, and I think it was the 360. I think I had a friend that had an Xbox during my snowboard years, during one of the summers I lived at Mount Hood, like the roommate. That was when I first played Morrowind. But it wasn't like we didn't do any of the online shit. I did figure out that you can max out your sneaking by walking into a wall at the edge of someone's like vision like barrier. Right? If you were just like sneaking and walking into the wall, like it counted as like movement, even though you weren't technically moving anywhere. Because it was, you know, a cheaper calculation. So I just, you know, took the Xbox controller, flipped it upside down, and then like made it just like run into the wall overnight. Woke up to 100 sneak. Yes, Mount Hood in Oregon. Yeah. So yeah, from 2002 to 2010, I would spend my summers at Mount Hood snowboarding, and then winters up here at Stevens Pass. I would ride 200 plus days a year. Now, let's just say 150. There was at least 1 year where I rode 200. Nice. Yeah, real quick, hold on. Let's do this. This was my sponsor me video from 2006. This was uploaded to YouTube before Google bought it, even. And I'm almost positive, like, looking at the quality, it's like they recompress it every year just as, like, a party. So basically, you'll notice, like, any of the winter shots, Stevens Pass, any of the ones with dirt in the background, Mount Hood. Exactly, Sakurai. Yep. Keep in mind, this isn't the good part of the video yet. Right after this butter. There we go. So yeah, this is where the clips get way better. And I fell on that trick for sure. I do, but I pretty much just ride powder these days. I wouldn't mind riding more park, but I'm pretty much like a slush sunny day park rider. And technically, like, I still need to, like, I need easily, like, a month worth of, like, warming back up to tricks and stuff. Yeah, I get it, Max. I'm 42. But there are certain things where, like, you know, you don't lose the muscle memory. All right, so yeah, I wanted to give Kimmy a try. So we're going to go open code. Right, and we only got a little bit of time left before I got to start getting ready to go. But let's at least, like, kick this off and see how quick we burn through tokens. I think we can max out our 5-hour session in one prompt. Okay, hold on. We'll just do this. Open spec init. I was thinking our global should have worked. But, oh well. All right, so there it is. OPSX explore. Best eras to enjoy media? Yeah, I know, dude. I saw Jurassic Park in the theater. The first one. Founders over 40 tweet from Gary Tan? No, I didn't. I don't know if I muted him or not. I just found GStack ridiculous, but honestly, I might give GStack a try. You know, I think I've warmed up a little bit to it. Do you have a link to it? That would be nice. Because, yeah, he tweets almost as much as Theo. Actually, he might tweet more than Theo. Okay. Sakurai, yeah, we'd have to be listening for that. It's not a historical lookup tool. It is a listen to the messages as they're created tool. Historical lookup is someone else's job. Has zero relevance for me. So yeah, I like that. Oh, god damn it. Damn you, Olama. There we go. All right, so we see this burning. Will we be able to see this thing tick up in real time? All right, only at 2% so far. Oasis reference? How dare you? How dare you? I'm not sure I trust anything else this does. An Oasis reference? How dare they? It's a fucking Offspring reference. The name of the project is Isobencha Latte. Right? And it was going to be isobenchalated, right? Isobenchalated. Hey, right? Don't pay no mind, right? I think isobenchalate still works. If you're benchmarking code, it won't take you any time. That's the line, motherfucking clanker. How dare they? How dare they? Fucking clankers these days. Let's just fix their rendering just a little. There we go. Yep. Okay. See it. It's getting the idea at least. Right? So the noise taxonomy is all of this other stuff, right? So RAM isolation is the interesting half. RAM can't be partitioned like cores. I don't think I used the word explicit. I think you did, Gimme, but okay. Wait, did I? Oh, no. You're right. I did. Touche. I totally did. Yep, good call. Good call. So it's looking at prior art, right? We got TEMC, no real isolation, CSET shield, no UX, no stats, no verify, manual core shielding though, sysadmin cargo cult, reboot required. Firecracker, a great primitive, but it's a VM runtime, not a benchmarking tool. You'd still build everything. I feel like Firecracker could be related. Ronix test suite, heavyweight isolation is not its thing. Dedicated CI machines, what Wrestling Rust CPerf does. Just buy a quiet machine, works but doesn't scale to mortals. Let's get more music going. So the founding story, right? Did Docker fail me on something specific? CI variants, a benchmark that flapped between runs. The scar tissue usually defines the product. Where do the benchmarks run? Individual dev workstations versus dedicated benchmark runners versus CI. Almost 3 different products. Hosted runners is the saddest environment imaginable for this, and we're doing benchmarking in it right now. You think my request might have been too strict? Maybe. I mean, I think we can steer it a bit better. Cross-platform would kill this project. Yeah, and I'm like realistically, this is just helping us do the brainstorm. So I don't think the initial thing being that strict is a problem. I do want to see like where we at usage wise. All right. So yeah, I feel like Open Code Go has massively increased their limiting, which is pretty awesome. Like we're using the double usage most expensive one, and it's not so bad. So yeah, I might keep my Open Code Go. I think it's a better value than it used to be. So then comparative versus absolute. Is the goal, did my PR make it slower? Variance is the enemy, same machine, AB, or what's the true performance of this code, matching some production reality? Yeah, okay. So then 5 VM layer at all? Yeah, and I think Firecracker is probably the move, right? And then, hold on. Kata, I think Kata containers are the thing. Yeah. Yeah, Kata containers were like another thing I was looking at. All right, this part's good. I'm reading isolated plus bench plus olate. Is there a story or is it just a great nonsense word? Asking partly because it might suggest scope. Is this a single CLI or a whole latte? I'll stop. Don't stop. I love this. That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Give me the puns. Like, hell yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm gonna go through all of it. Yeah. So two, where do the benchmarks run? I am up for debate. I think the goal is to build this out as an open source tool people could run locally or in the cloud, and then build a SaaS around it. Oh, interesting how you're anthropomorphizing Kimmy. Questionable, but okay. We're giving Kimmy a try, and we're seeing how quickly the usage goes. And this is also kind of like brainstorming on an idea that we've had. We're not necessarily needing to complete it today. I just wanted to like get Kimmy set up, and then maybe this is a thing that we come back to whole hog on Saturday. Because I do have to start getting ready to go to Seattle for an event. Yeah, exactly, Patty. Yeah, exactly. Just in the 5 minutes, like in the 5 hour session, though, right? So, yeah, whatever. We're going to answer the questions it has here, and then it'll be a surprise when we come back to it later. What was the other thing that you had said? I just want to double check. So, as far as I know with Docker, those things that you're talking about are maximums, not guarantees. Right? And like a noisy neighbor can still harm Docker's ability to do that, right? But yeah, no worries, Max. Have a good one. I mean, I make great background noise while you're working. Just saying, this is a co-working stream in disguise. But I get it. I can't put the Primogen on in the background too. You know, I take that as a compliment if the stream's that entertaining. Damn right. Yeah, exactly. Or when, a workflow's going, right? Like, or a GitHub Actions running and you got to double check the result, right? Like, there's plenty of times where you just like, you have a moment to decompress. And the stream's great for that, in my opinion. I might be biased. Boom. All right. Two Praxis in N2Is rolling a hole. Okay, I was curious what that was. In EVE Online. Okay. Yep. Yeah, EVE Online, the spreadsheet simulator. All right, so we're going to let this go. There's probably more we could do, but you're a third-party dev for said simulations. Oh, interesting. Oh, that sounds fun. But okay, so let's figure out, who do we go raid? But yeah, I think this is a fun thread to pick back up on Saturday when I get back. So I'll be in SF briefly tomorrow, then I fly back to Portland for Chain React. That will be Thursday and Friday, and then I drive back here, and I will be back for stream on Saturday. So yeah, tonight I am going to like an AI Tinkerers like summer bash meetup thing. It's going to be on a rooftop. You know, there will be beverages and food, I'm sure. Hopefully some good conversations. And then from there, I'm driving down to Portland. I just want to be in Portland, drop my stuff at the hotel. That way, when I'm flying to SF, I don't need my entire bag for like the 2 days I'm going to be at Chain React. So yeah, it's like, you know, I'm spending like an extra $130 for the hotel room just for that, you know, that ease of travel. I think it's worth it. Oh, well, Snowcone's streaming. It's art stream today, though. Well, we see not Nang. He's doing some IRL stuff. Let's go raid Samir. He's doing some algorithms and data structures. Maybe not the most fun thing, but still. Good dude. Definitely worth hanging out. So yeah, we're going to go right into I Am Samir here's stream. He's doing some data structures and algorithms on LeetCode. I know, that stuff's boring, but kind of worth it. Looks to me like he's doing some Rust. Looks like Rust to me, at least. Right? The impl, the pub, fn. So yeah, I like Rust. Rust is fun. So let's go say hi to them. I will bid farewell to the Twitter and the YouTube. On Twitter and YouTube, I won't be back until Saturday, so I'll see you then. Should be fun, though.